They're ready to go, and here we go. And wait for the noise as they make their entrance. Well, St James's Park is reasonably occupied as we start. Fans come and go throughout the afternoon, but they've all come and they've all stayed, those Leigh supporters here today. There's a smattering of Catalan fans out there as well. It is such a big game for both these sides as we enter the second third of the season. Leigh start the day in third, Catalan in seventh. A win for the Dragons, they're up into fourth. A win for Leigh, they're up into second place, albeit temporary. And of course, they've both got Challenge Cup semi-finals next week as well. So my goodness, what a heady time for both clubs. Terry O'Connor alongside us in the sunshine. He looks well when the sun is out. What are you looking forward to today, Terry?
Oh, the battle of the brains at the 7 position, though. They might be missing some players, but they have a consistency in that number 7, and that's Lachlan Lamb. Plays his 40th consecutive game for the club. He's a run threat, and when he plays well, Leigh play well. And he's up against a big side, a big physical side. But Theo Fies, he was brought in to direct the side, give him some magic themselves. Just his 7th appearance of the year, but if he can click as well, that is going to be a good battle between both Lachlan Lamb and Theo Fies.
Well, it's a growing tradition, isn't it, that they have their special magic weekend outfits. It's kind of a lime and black for the Catalan. Spider-Man's here, so we're in good hands. Well, they're all here, aren't they, the superheroes in the stands. And some potential superheroes on the pitch. Here's the countdown. Magic Weekend is underway. And it's Leigh who start the game with a big kick downfield. And it's taken out of play by Fuhad Yaha. Coolness. Make sure that it's out on the full. And right away, a penalty for Catalan on the halfway line.
Yeah, they'll be so disappointed. Last week, they scored 2 tries in the opening 7 minutes. That's not the start that they're after. Playing on the big stage. Want to get a first good touch, a first good kick, and that's not what they were after.
Well, it's a big stadium, but I think it's a smaller pitch than most Super League grounds here, the actual playing surface. So there's a little bit of an excuse for that overhyped kick right at the start.
But you know, though, Dave, when you play in a big stadium like this, it makes the field seem really big and stretched. That's maybe why he got it wrong.
So Catalan with the first chance to put some pressure on here. And look where they are already with only 2 plays gone. Just short of that 20-metre line. Fage carrying it towards that left-hand side. There's Spiro Bichet involved, but his pass is untidy. So Catalan retain a position, but lose a little chance of momentum. It's back with Kiri, shifting it towards the middle. And Leigh's defence being asked questions they might not have been expecting at this end of the ground so early. It's Fage again. Back on the inside once more, and the dancing steps of Spiro Bichet taking them very close. With 1 to go, Garcia out of dummy half. Kiri now stops and puts the kick into the in-goal area, but it's an easy take for Bailey Hodgson, and he's done very well to get back in the field of play.
Yeah, does excellent, doesn't he? You know what, they've got to make sure they're red alert in the middle of the field, because it just looked a bit too easy when they got that half break. Nice little kick, wasn't it, from Kiri? Good chase. And like you said, the youngster Bailey Hodgson did well to get back in the field.
Well, we're looking forward to the impact of Joe Ofahangwe as well in these early stages. Expecting him to start on the bench, but he's very much in that starting lineup. And Robbie Mulhern, who's been building his reputation very nicely over the last few years. And Lamb is behind the 40 when he lets fly, and the bounce is not kindly. Well, that's a bit of luck from Catalan's point of view. That could very easily have been an attacking position for the Leopards.
But still not a bad place to turn the ball over, is it? Kicking into the corners, get off the line here, try and do some damage with your shoulders as well. Just try and slow it down as much as you can. This Catalan side, they'll throw the ball around from anywhere on the field. That's a great carry.
I'll do something new on the graphics as well. You'll see that letter C between both teams. It means that they've both got a captain's challenge in hand. And if they use it and it is unsuccessful, that C will disappear. So just to keep you, the viewers, in touch with the potential that is available to both sides. Whitehead with the offload. Fage can't roll it in, but he does bid it up on the second attempt. It goes running across, gets it away ahead of a Pape. They're searching back towards the middle again, but Mulhern is in with a big stop on Busquets. And Catalan are on to the last play. Looking for something here. Fage will stick it up in the air. Hodgson just settles his feet and leaps well. And Pangai Jr. took him in a timely fashion when the feet were back on the ground.
Yeah, we'll talk about timing. That's exactly what we want. Look, he's a dangerous player at the back. I thought he was excellent last week, Bailey Hodgson against Salford, over 200 metres carrying the ball. So they know they don't want to give him time. There you go, testing you. Oh, he's lost the ball, has he?
Well, one-on-one, says the referee. New will complain that was two in the tackle earlier. Sims has taken Catalan close. Little look from dummy half from Kotric. So 4 plays to go. What a start this has been from Catalan so far. Plenty of position. Taken in by Whitehead again. It's going to be well attended by those 3 Leopards defenders. Garcia, plenty of time to have a look around, and a little bit more now after the stumble. Partington sends it across the field. Keary helps it on again. Sims with a bulldozing effort, but 4-5 Leigh defenders taking a hold and keeping him clear of danger. Garcia, Keary, little dummy. Oh, it's an untidy slip from him. And so that's a wasted play. So here comes Garcia again. This is the last. It's back with Fage. Fage with a chip over the top. Charlie's drawn out there, but he's not going to get there. It's Leigh. The towering Mathieu Leigh, who gets up and touches down.
Tackle 5.
But the referee,
we have a try.
Liam Moore, is asking the question.
See if he's onside from the kick chase, please, mate.
Try the field. What does a video referee have to say? Well, what a start for the Catalan Dragons. The mistake from Leigh from the very first, from the kickoff, and since then the Dragons have dominated, and it is reflected with these 3 letters which are going to be put on the screen in just a moment. Everybody's looking, everybody's looking. Here we go. Newcastle's nervous, but the decision's been made, and now it's going to be relayed to the rest of us. Eventually. Here we go, there we go. The try is given, and Mathieu Leigh, the try scorer.
Well, a couple of mistakes early on from Leigh. They'd be disappointed, really, up against the French side. And they've got some strike on the edge. We go outside of the 2 experienced back rows in Tarek Sims and Whitehead. The 2 centres that they've got certainly know how they can play a nice little kick, and look at that pinpoint, isn't it? Mathieu Leigh, you know, at 6'4", 6'5", with a nice little swagger at the end of it, takes that ball cleanly and scores the opening try of magic.
And one of those from a city that used to be a real heartbeat of rugby league, Marseille-born Mathieu Leigh. People still talk about the ticker-tape reception the French team had back in the 50s when they beat Australia in that city. Leigh, the latest from there, who's planted his flag in rugby league territory, and the kick is over, and Catalan lead by 6 points to 0.
Well, and the big thing is just keep the game simple, get through your sets, get to the kick, and they've certainly done that. It's a nice kick, and look at that, time to perfection. Mathieu Leigh knew that he was going to be under some pressure catching that ball, but only had eyes for this ball. As soon as it's kicked from Theo Fage, put some pressure on the outside backs from Leigh, but there was only 1 man scoring that, and that was Leigh.
Generally pretty good boys. Stay disciplined.
Well, they're 2 teams with plenty of form at the moment, aren't they? As we said, they're both on runs of 4 consecutive wins in League and Cup, so they both got plenty of confidence. But the rise from Catalan feels significant. What was it, 1 in the opening 5 or 6 matches they won?
Yeah.
And since then...
Well, they started the season really, really slow, and everyone thought, oh, not again. Because you look at the team that's always assembled every year. They spend some money, don't they, getting some of the best players in the world over there. But losing just 1 out of 8 shows that they've turned a corner.
There's Whitehead with the latest challenging effort. Garcia in at dummy half. feeding the middle
Loss of impact.
of the
Good
field
shot.
again, but Busquets has lost it, the impact of the tackle, and Leigh with a chance to set up a position to strike back again here. Battling effort from McIntosh.
Well, it was a great shot, wasn't it, Edwin Apapi? He just gets underneath for Julian Busquets, dislodges that ball with the shoulder.
One.
Well, for Hengawe with his latest carry. He's been at the club at just over a week now, so still getting used to his surroundings and his teammates.
Two.
Here's Ipape. Missed last week through suspension. Back in that main strike role this week. Wide it goes, McNamara. Up against his dad, of course, today, Ben McNamara. And that has been lost. And that will be Catalan who get head and feed here.
Yeah, we're making a mistake on the second tackle, just 10 yards away. No, they held on to the ball. O'Neill goes in. Bit of a loose carry from him. They make the mistake, and they'll be disappointed. And the slow start that they got away and got off to here at Magic. You see how close they are to the opponent's line, and to give the ball up so easy on the second play. Well, they'll be disappointed.
So Catalan with that early lead should get the ball back here as well, albeit deep inside their own territory. And searching for an escape route as quickly as they possibly can. Garcia again rolls up into that dummy half position, and Ipape with that famous shoulder of his.
Granite he is. Explosive from dummy half and explodes into tackles as well. Look, not the biggest, Edwin Apapi, but certainly gets stuck in.
Garcia again, searching down the middle once more. Little short pass for Whitehead, who's got support here, and the offload is good, and Leguer's involved, and wide it goes to Yaha. Well, they're gathering distance, they're gathering a bit of momentum again here. Slung back to the middle by Leguer. Fage, now Kiri. Kiri's carrying, trying to create something, offers it out to Remus Smith, and Smith is going to be snared up by those three Leigh defenders as the Leopards' defence recovers. One play to go in this set. Carey again will put the kick up, but Charlie is set fair for that, and an easy take, but an easy tackle for Whitehead as well to make his momentum felt. Jenna Brooks, what have you got for us down on the touchline?
Yeah, afternoon, Dave. Just you touched on it before. Steve McNamara, obviously head coach of Catalan Dragons, having to go up against his son, Ben McNamara, Leigh's halfback today. Speaking to him ahead of this game, he said that it is one of the toughest games he's had to coach, obviously coaching against his son in the half. So you got to have a thought for poor old Steve McNamara.
You do. He's mic'd up, by the way, if you missed it before we began here today. Steve McNamara's mic'd up, so is Adrian Lamb, the Leigh coach, whose son is on his side today. So two fathers, two sons represented. And throughout the afternoon, we will be getting a bit of insight from both those coaches from those mics. Here's Lachlan Lamb, good pass away. Back drop on that right-hand side, but it's fumbled. And the referee says that will be that as far as Leigh's possession is concerned.
No, he's got some skill, hasn't he? Bad drop. He backs himself as well. Majority of his career he played in the championship, just managing or trying to get the ball back to McIntosh. But they're very dangerous. Whenever they shift the ball, Lachlan Lamb again, just nice little control pass, and unfortunately McIntosh goes over.
Well, if you're at home, if you've chosen not to come to Newcastle this weekend, you are still very much part of the whole festival, because you get a chance to pick the player of the match as well. The Our League app, if you're on the Our League app, if you've got it downloaded. If you haven't, download it now, because in all 6 matches you will get a chance to vote on the player of the match later in the games, so keep an eye out for that as well. There's Pangai Jr., who has hit well but still gets a good pass away. Kiri gathers up another 5 metres or so. Fage comes running on, and a little step from Leguer, but there's no way through. Tessinu in to make the tackle. Whitehead's there. This is Fage with a kick. And Hodgson again with not too far to travel, but such a high kick, it made him an easy target for those oncoming defenders.
But again, he's so dangerous, and Catalan know how good he is and how quick he is out of backfield. And what I do like about Catalan is the way that the forwards are passing the ball. We know that Tavita Pangai Jr.'s got a really good offload, and in him, the best in the competition, but that pre-line is certainly causing them some problems, and they're getting on the front foot.
There's New with a carry down the middle. It's a familiar sight for those who watch Leigh on a regular basis. His heavy work, certainly from that point of the field. Ipape in at dummy half again. Expect electrifying things from him as the game goes on. I think Lachlan Lamb was behind the 40. The referee confirms that. But that's academic because Espero Bichet picks it up, clears his line, threatens to make the break as well.
Do you know, it's a great caddy as well. He manages to land on the front plate quickly, but a good kick from Lachlan Lamb into the corner again. Doesn't go over the sideline, but it's where they want to defend. They want to back themselves defensively and really tough this game out.
Here's Leigh, another of the outside backs, doing the heavy-duty work down at the middle. Garcia. Kiri just helps it on its way. Yaha back today. Sorry, Kotric, that is, on that far side. No Tommy Makinson for Catalan today. He and Sam Tompkins missing. This is Pangai Jr. and just bobbles it up. And now Kiri comes on at pace. Little double pump from him, but Leigh's defence recovering well, but the offloads continue, but it went forward. It went forward. There's a complaint from Kotric that was the wrong decision, but he ain't going to change the referee's mind on this occasion.
And again, just looking to play this high tempo rugby, and Kotric said before how strong he was. Unfortunately, the ball goes forward to Sims.
I thought he had a case there.
Yeah, well, he's a player, and so did he as well, Dave, to be fair. He didn't make too much of it. You can see where the lines are. Passes the ball. Well, the ref was in a better position than what we are.
Let's pack in, boys, please.
Can't challenge those on the captain's challenge, of course, forward passes.
Let's get in, Catalan. 10 seconds, heads in there, please, Derek.
So shot clock on, Leigh ready to feed the scrum. Ben McNamara will stick it in there. Oh, and it's untidy. Picked up eventually by Ipape, and here comes Charnley. 14 minutes played, still that one score. If you're joining us late, Mathieu Leigh on the end of a big kick, up high to catch and touch it down. Ipape back in the inside, Trout helps it on again. Hangawe clearing the halfway line and strongly is able to get the arm free and allow Leigh an extra few metres there because Ipape was there. Here's Liu. Now Lamb, it's Hodgson, and there's just a line of defenders ahead of Tessigny, but he's gone searching back down the middle again, and Mulhern spinning in and battering in as well, taken on by Trout. He keeps it alive, Hodgson scampers on, and Leigh have given themselves a good position here with 2 to play. Hodgson a little dazed. Liu carries in, arms wrapped up by Partington. So last play, Ipape goes right, McNamara up to the line, slings it back to Lamb. Lamb now out to that right-hand side, but McIntosh, so many defenders, the ball's given away, and suddenly it's going the other way, at pace as well. Sirinen is going to be, Sims rather, over the halfway line and put down. Back to Fage. Fage now scampering in, Leigh's defence having to get back quickly here.
Well, Tarek Sims, it was a gift to him. All of a sudden he was under pressure in defence, then he gets the ball in his hand and just manages to get over halfway. Here we go.
Oh, that's wonderful work as well by Espero Bichet, and reaches. Well, it's Magic Weekend and we've just seen our first magical try. Espero Bichet had no right to be anywhere near that goal line, and yet he found a way.
Well, his first try in Super League, and that's a try that he's going to remember, the young 19-year-old. Who needs Sam Tompkins when you've got a player of that ability? You know, quality. Look, Leigh back themselves. They're going into that bottom right-hand corner that he's trying to play. They offload the ball. It's a blind offload. Tarek Sims gets hold of it, and doesn't he do ever so well? Doesn't panic at all. Manages to ride a tackle, gets up, plays the ball really quickly. And Espero Bichet, well, I really do like a player that backs himself. And look at this. That is a confident young man. To go through that Leigh defensive line, he just steps off either foot, goes on the outside of Mulhern, gets rid of him, gets rid of Tessigny. You can see the big call from Lachlan Lamb to go out to Charnley, and no one can get him down.
Well, that is special for that young fella. 19 years of age, as Terry says, his first try in Super League, and he's got a chance to add another 2 here as well.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. You know, sometimes coaches get a bit nervous putting some youngsters in, but youngsters, let me tell you, they don't fear anything. They don't look at the opposition thinking, right, I'm up against X, Y, and Z. They just think, right, I'm going to get the ball, I'm going to have a crack myself here. And he's certainly not back down to playing on the big stage, has he?
Well, 1 kick already successful. This, his second attempt to put his side 12-0 ahead. What a start from Catalan this has been, with barely 17 minutes played. Espero Bichet just steadies himself, has a little look finally at the sticks, rolls up slowly, and ain't that a perfect conversion from where it started to where it finished. There was never any doubt. Catalan lead by 12 points to 0. As we mentioned earlier, we've got the Catalan coach Steve McNamara mic'd up today. Let's hear some of his reaction to what we've seen so far.
Right up, Joe. Get him back and get the breath here. Just get him back here. Get him calm there. Okay, let me go. Get a few boys walking in back play. Get him back there early. Okay.
There you go. Enjoyed the try, but wanted a bit of urgency, getting his team back in position and keeping calm. And that's not the restart that Catalan needed. Yaha drops on clean, and Leigh are given an excellent attacking position from that.
Wow. Well, the club record try scorer. He can get over the line up the other end, but he's got to make sure he defends his line and comes up with a simple mistake after scoring points. Oh, we could have that chance again. Puts his side under some real pressure here now.
Well, Leigh's head and feed, 10 metres to cover, and a little shell-shocked at the moment, but this is the perfect position to provide a response.
I'd like to see Steve McNamara's reaction from that then.
Well, it's his son Ben who's the centre of the action here with a ball feed. Mbappe picks up and switches left. It's straight into the hands of Tessignew, who's trying to get on the outside of Leigh. But the young centre hangs on grimly. This is Charnley. Scooping it back, Mbappe. Back now to Mulhern. Mulhern just driving his side to within range. Mbappe again. Ofahengawe is to that right-hand side, but it's gone behind him. Little dummy shown, but no way through for McNamara. So they start again. Split back, Ofahengawe. Dummy shown. Tries to use that strength of his to force a way through, but held up. Mbappe. Dummy runners, right and left. Oh, it's a juggle for McNamara and a drop. The referee says backwards. Bailey Hodgson picks it up, but all he can do is try to correct the position. And 1 play to go. It's with Lamb. Lamb slides it in, hits the knee, and Kiri has gone down and has taken that back in the name of the Dragons.
Yeah, didn't he do ever so well then to trap that ball? Luke Kiri, he tried to thread the ball through his legs, and he manages just to stop the ball from getting behind him. But Leigh now just looking to try and turn the screw defensively, trying to be as physical as they can. And Catalan will just have to try and soak up this pressure.
Well, they've got a long way to get downfield, and going lateral has not helped them here, and Farge is just stopped and dragged back a yard or two, so Leigh's defence is on top, looking for a big win if they can. Yaha, who rather gave Leigh this position with his early mistake, and on the last, and behind their own 20, Farge has to kick clear. McIntosh will take it, and he's quickly into his stride, and testing what comes his way.
Well, that was
starts Leigh just inside the opponent's half of things.
That was a great defensive set, wasn't it, from Leigh? He just managed to make 12 metres carrying the ball. And then this is the reward now, to try and have a little look at what's in front of him. Adrian Lamb, what a tremendous job he's done for Leigh.
Here's Liu, offers it on to Ofahengawe, who was looking maybe to slip it away, but he can't. Not when he was going down. Mbappe again, back to Isaac Leigh again, and Leigh drags himself through. The ball goes free. Ipape picks it up. It's bobbling around. It's scooped away by O'Neill. They've lost ground, and now they've lost the ball.
Yeah,
Panic.
Bit of panic. I was just going to say that. Well, the forwards are getting their arms free, and Oberon Gowie just goes into contact, looking straight away. Someone's got to get on his shoulder. And then, like you said there, a bit of panic. They offload the ball, and then from that offload, they're just looking to pass the ball, and unfortunately, the pass isn't good enough, and then young Badrock makes the error, and in an offside position, so they get a penalty.
Yeah, O'Neill, with instinct, just picked it up, then he put his hand on the ball, so Catalan with the clearing penalty and a chance to build. Ulrich da Costa is on the field. What a servant of the club he's been down the years, Ulrich da Costa. 10th season he's now enjoying.
One of those unsung heroes. I said 10 years.
Oh, Busquets had his pockets picked there.
Owen Trout did
yeah.
Tremendous job, didn't he?
And here's New.
This is good play from Owen Trout. Just manages to get hold of the ball from Julian Busquets, one of the biggest players in the competition, let alone the field. Oh,
Darnell McIntosh almost, but collared literally by Pangai Jr., who drags him back, and Leigh start again here. This now is O'Neill, and it's going to be a penalty for Leigh.
You're offside, mate. You're offside, Luke Keary.
So let's go down to the Catalan player who's not playing today. Sam Tompkins, what have you made of your side start here?
Yeah, I think a pretty strong start. I think we dominated the first 10 minutes of the game. Really happy with Guillermo Aspiro Biche at fullback. I think the way that we saw him chime into the line and score, you know, an amazing try was brilliant. And not forgetting, this kid came through the system as a 13. He's never played fullback before coming up full time, so he's still learning.
Well, he's learning from a good one, Sam. You've obviously taught him well. But Leigh at the moment are attacking now with an opportunity. Play on. Hodgson rolls himself back to his feet and shakes away Farge and heads for that line with real determination. Catalan's defence just about recovers. New stands and waits, delivers it inside to Lachlan Lamb. Leigh with a threat. Ipape offering it off. Isaac Leigh now will take it in, and down he goes. Edwin Ipape comes right, offers it to a couple of the big fellas. Then it's to McNamara, and here's Lamb with a ball over the top, and Darnell McIntosh. Well, thoughts of the corner quickly erased as he brings it back to the middle. Ipape, he'll want to roll it away, gets it away from Da Costa, and Edwin Ipape, with all that marvellous magical stuff that he possesses underneath the sticks to get that try for Leigh. We've seen some special tries already this Magic weekend.
Well, third Magic in a row that he's scored. He's a special player, isn't he, for the big occasion, Edwin Ipape. And that's Leigh. They just don't need to panic. They're not behind on the scoreboard, up against a good French Catalan side, but they just like to play. Good play from Lachlan Lamb, goes over the top. Darnell McIntosh back inside, looking to give the ball to a player in a better position, and doesn't he do ever so well? Gets rid of some poor defenders, and you can see hands on head from a Catalan player. I think it's Ollie Partington, normally a better defender than that, Ollie Partington. Well, Edwin Ipape, wow, well, that's certainly what the coach Adrian Lamb's after.
Well, we talk about eye-catching players, and there's not too many better than the Papua New Guinean hooker, and his Papua New Guinean coach is very, very pleased with that.
Well, he knows what he's got in that play, doesn't he? He's like I say, can play on the big stage, and when the team's up against it, we've already saw a couple of big shots that he's put in early on in this game, and he comes up with the 4 points, which surely is going to turn into 6 in a minute, in the boot of Ben McNamara. It was needed, but you just sensed that they were getting some field position, Leigh. And if you look at the roster that they've got, like we said at the start, there is some players missing, but that's still a good Leigh Leopard side.
Well, this is one of the key areas they're missing. Gareth O'Brien not playing today because he's injured, is the regular goal kicker. Well, this is a fairly tame start for McNamara, right in front of the sticks. Puts it over, 6 points to 12. Let's hear from his dad on the other side, the Catalan coach, Steve McNamara.
Just drop they're not flattening the tackles. Nobody can get a message down there. It's just simple as the 100 missed tackles there in that last series of plays there from us. Make those 2 changes.
Well, that was his reaction to that last try. You hopefully heard that loud and clear. 6 points to 12. Well, coming into this weekend, Terry, you look at all the fixtures, and several of them stand out, but this is certainly one of them, isn't it? This is one of the games you really look forward to because of how unpredictable it was before we started.
Yeah, well, both of them, like, what a game to kick off the Magic in 2025, and both of them have only lost 1 game in the last 5, so in good form themselves, building. Like we said about Catalans, didn't start really well in the season, and Leigh, well, tremendous side that they are, 3rd in the competition, and they'll mix it with any of the big boys.
Yeah. They had a bit of a blip, didn't they? They drew with Hull in that dramatic match. We were both there that night, weren't we? That incredible game that ended in a draw. Oh, here's Mbappe! Off he springs again, looking round for support, gets it away, juggled by Hudson. He's still going, the right foot step, but it's a forward pass. And I think, yep, referee's given a forward pass. Just for a moment there, I thought he'd given a penalty away as well, but it is a forward pass here.
Yeah, well, they're taking Mbappe doing all the damage again from dummy half, and it's this pass that I think goes to Bailey. Hodgson, that he says goes forward.
I think the position of Hodgson rather gave that away, didn't it?
And he got the call from the touchline as well, the ref.
Well, we were saying they drew with Hull that day, and then they lost heavily at Colchester Rovers and lost at home at Wakefield Leigh. But they bounced back since then with wins against Wakefield in the Cup and Castleford and Warrington. I think that Warrington win was the real standout, and Salford as well, which is why they're up into 3rd position. They have to show some character here today because this Catalan team are giving more than as good as they get. Here's Espiro Bichet. This is Da Costa looking inside again, trying to get those big men ploughing through the middle. Keary just to the left is the collector of the ball here. This is Sims. 3 tackles gone, 3 to go. Catalan in decent position. Keary just offering it back eventually to Fage. Espiro Bichet is involved again. This time easily dealt with by those Leigh defenders. Leigh. Here's Fage. Onto the field is Chris Satai. He can make an impact. 1 to go, Da Costa. Fage wants it, rather bossing things from the half's point of view. Keary out to Smith, and Smith trying to draw defenders and trying to bounce it back on the inside. Now, was that ball placed man? Yes, it was. So it'll be a tap back on the 20.
Yeah, trying to get the ball around. You can see he gets the ball in his left hand, knows it's going towards the touchline, comes up with the offload, comes straight off the head of McNamara.
Seen plenty of classy headers at that end of this field. Certainly Alan Shearer at the Gallagher end, but that was accidental by McNamara. Mbappe ranges up to acting half again. Very nearly half an hour played. Charlie's getting involved.
And this is the period where some of the bigger fellas who've played the opening, coming up to 30 minutes, might be starting to get a bit tired around the middle of the road. The likes of Edwin Apapi will go from dummy half. Anyone who's got a bit of speed behind the play of the ball will look to exploit that space.
Well, Davis on the field can certainly operate out of dummy half as well, so that might take a little bit of the load off Ipape's shoulders, but here he is again. Isaac Liu pops it back, and Lamb now takes it into the line, double pump and Hodgson, and quick hands from Tessie New, and again it's a forward pass.
There's a couple of them that are line balls, aren't there? But you can see, I think when Tessie New gets this ball, well, they jam in, and you can see the ball goes forward. They jam in. If you make the decision to shoot in, you've got to close this down, and they did that. Just the presence of the defender.
Yaha getting his shoulder in, and mistake created as a result. The pass born out of necessity from New, because he knew the defence was coming in quickly.
Likewise with Luke, just give me the extra step on the 10.
It's a chance for both sides to get a little bit of break here. It's not red hot, is it? It's warm down in the bowl. Both sides involved in quite an exhausting contest so far.
10 seconds, shot clock off. Okay, mate.
It's great conditions to play, though, isn't it? The pitch is nice and firm, the sun's out.
Wish you were still out there, Terry.
Not a chance.
Da Costa. Well, he tried to duck underneath the rock defenders. Gained no purchase from that. So Kiri takes over that role. Taken on by Sims. He's pushing hard, and he's got a few extra meters after contact there. Da Costa.
Nice and quick, boys.
Slinging it back towards the middle. Partington with a short pass and Satai trying to crash through. Da Costa's quickly up into position. This now is Farge. Farge helps it on its way to Whitehead.
I'm okay with that. 5.
One last play to go. There's still a distance to be covered, so this will be a kick and a hope off the boot of Farge. And Hodgson underneath it. The chase is good, but he's spun away from a couple of them, and he got past that last defender. That could have been trouble for Catalan, but Leigh have it back, but penned inside their own 10. Charnley looking again to bludgeon his way free. The chisel chipping away at the rock face of that Catalan defence. Liu dancing in. So the Brad Dwyer's on the field as well, so that always offers an extra sharpness and an extra dynamism to the middle, and here he goes.
Well, that's what you're going to get on a quick play of the ball, and Leigh now are just well and truly into this now. I guess now again they're going to kick on the front foot, get down in the opposition's 20 at the start of the game. That it was 8-0 in favour of Catalan for play the balls in the opponent's 20, and now all of a sudden the game's turned. It's 11-8 in Leigh's favour, so they're now starting to have some field position to examine the line.
Slinging it back towards the middle, and here's Yaha, who's popped up there right in those dappled shadows across the field. Yep. Kotric bouncing off a couple of defenders' chests and looking for a different route, but wrapped up, put down, played. Da Costa collects again. It'll skip in the air from Navarrete, but they're going through the tackles, and they're still a good 10 metres short of the halfway line. And Da Costa will kick out of dummy half as a result of that position, and it's a good kick. It's a good kick. Leigh will have it back. Not a 40-20, but decently done.
Well, they've got a 40-20.
Oh, he has given a 40-20. Yeah, he has.
Leigh Morty.
Well, for all money, I thought he was outside the 40.
Well, they call a 40-20. You could see as well, Alex Da Costa.
Yeah.
Do you know, he stood behind the dummy half, he's put his arms out, he's looking for his halfbacks, who's going to take control, and he thinks no one's called for it, I'm doing it.
Well, what a kick from Da Costa. Let's up the tempo, because suddenly Catalan have got position again here. And Navarrete drives in, less than 10 away. Da Costa. Oh, it's along the ground, but the arm came from an offside position, so penalty right in front of the sticks.
Yeah, you go for 2 here.
That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing.
Just slow this game down now, look. You get down there. It's a great kick from Alex Da Costa. And you can see just a little reach round from, is it Brad Dwyer?
Yeah.
So they give
the penalty decision here on the penalty, directed from the coaching box. This is what Steve McNamara had to say.
Take the 2, please.
Calm as you like, that, wasn't it? It was like he was ordering at the restaurant. Yeah, I'll have a glass of water if you don't. Okay, bring a bottle of water to the table, please. Take the 2. And Aspiro Bichet, who's already got a try and 2 goals to his name, with a chance to give his side an 8-score lead, 8-point lead here, right in front of the sticks. Little puff of the cheeks.
Stay still, Leigh.
Ain't taking any chances despite the relative ease of this penalty attempt. Gallagher end, get ready to catch. And over it's chipped. And Catalan lead by 14 points to 6, and they have got a travelling support that are highly delighted with the way things are at the moment.
Yeah, outstanding. Catalan fans and Steve McNamara, what a job he's done since 2017. He had to navigate his way through that £1 million game in 2017, and since then he's won the Challenge Cup, he's won the League Leaders Trophy, appeared in 2 grand finals, got semi-final next week. I think he's done a tremendous job. and attracted some of the biggest names to play down in the south of France.
The way last season ended, I think he acknowledged himself he was under pressure at the start of this season, and it wasn't going his way at the beginning, as you were saying, but just at the moment they're looking pretty good, aren't they?
Look, whenever you spend so long at a club, like what's that, 8 years, 9 years he's been down in the south of France, you'd always feel that pressure because you're nearer to getting the sack because you've been there that long. But I think he's done a tremendous job.
Oh, Leguer's dropped the ball and McNamara picks it up, making a bit of trouble for his dad. So here comes Dwyer, dancing out. Davies now will take it on, bouncing into that defensive line. Less than 10 to go. There's the spill. Picked up by Dwyer. Oh, it was behind the back of Leigh. He did well to keep a hold, to maintain this attacking position for Leigh. Dwyer again. Here's McNamara. Step back on the inside for O'Neill. Holding off defenders. But there's 3 gone, there's 3 to go. Dwyer buzzing down at dummy half. Lamb takes it on again. Oh, beautiful little step from Hodgson to buy some time and buy some space. It's into the hands of New off the bounce on the ground. New now will take it on. Catalans defence looks to switch off for a moment there. And eventually, New put down. Dwyer. It's back with Leigh. And now the hands away. There's numbers over there. But Catalans defence recovers well to stop O'Neill feeding it out wide. And now they're on the last. Dwyer looking for Lamb, sees him, then puts the kick in him himself. I don't think that was a planned move. And it all comes rather calmly to an end.
That's good defence, wasn't it? You can see that Tarek Sims now sucking in the big ones. Luke Carey come up with a very good read to stop them. And the ricochet there and good play at the back to just protect the try line.
There's Leguer, still only 8 from his own line. Catalan still struggling to make some distance here. Yaha tries to add some muscle, but Leigh's defence is working really well. 4 gone, they're only 5 out, Catalan, at the moment. It's taken on by Satai. Over the top it goes. Smith gets it out. Kotrich coming in from that wing position, buying yards and buying a chance to get the offload away. Here comes Partington. Leigh's defenders recovering well and eventually getting that tackle in to force Catalan to kick from here. Fage will look, kicks away, potential for a 20-40, but as you can see, it's right down the middle. Charlie's slip helps a little with the chasing defence. And Charlie brings it back and bang, down he goes, onto the grass. And Leigh start from there.
But again, that's a solid setting defence from Leigh. Really harassing Catalan, expecting them to try and get their arm free and offload the ball like they did. I think it was Saté who did it, but some strong defence from Catalan. Neither side now want to give over points just before half-time.
Well, there's O'Neill, 10 inside the Catalan half. Leigh desperate to rein in this lead if they can before the hooter sounds. And Hodgson's involved again, and it's taken by New to Charlie. And Charlie goes tracking in, elbows up, bumpers up, tries to run through them but can't. And so Dwyer will have a go. No way, so back to Lamb. Lamb slings it across. Here's Ipape. Ipape's done it once, but Catalan wise to that attempt on this occasion. Collected by McNamara, who goes hard and low, and he's certainly got over, and he certainly stuck it down on the ground. And Ben McNamara, a thorn in his dad's side, a hero for those Leigh fans, and that's exactly what the Leopards needed at this stage.
Come on, what's his dad thinking? Coaching against his son. You've just watched your son score against you. There's got to have been a fist pump underneath the table for that.
You reckon? You reckon?
Oh, well, look, you want your son to do well, and Ben McNamara, look, I'm a big fan of him. I watched him as a kid coming through up at Hull. He's not had the clear chance of playing week in, week out, but he's never complained, and I really like this. Just before half-time, it's a big try for the Leopards, and just look at him celebrate. I'm sure there'll be half of the family celebrating, watching Ben score, along with Adrian Lamb, because he knows that's an important try.
There's a real historic triangle there, isn't there? Ben McNamara had some time under Adrian Lamb at the Roosters when he was there, when his dad was at the Roosters, so there's a very familial feeling to all of that. And a chance to add 2 here as well. But back within a score, and this will be the final kick of this first half. And just as we started, so after 40 minutes, it remains very much in the balance here.
What a try. His first in over a year, and look at that. 17 seconds to go with a kick to come.
So Ben McNamara steadies himself here. Again, just like his first, it's a relatively straightforward affair. And he has stuck it over, and 12 points to 14. And he has been a real influence in this first half. The hooter will sound. The players are already exiting the pitch, but the hooter sounds, and it is set up wonderfully well for this second half. Adrian Lamb has seen his side respond to a couple of very decent efforts from the Catalans Dragons, and at half-time it's Leigh 12, Catalan 14.
Dave Terry, thank you very much. The Magic Weekend 2025 is up and running at St James's Park, Newcastle. The Leigh Leopards and Catalan Dragons take a well-earned half-time break here at the stadium. Just 2 points between them. The Dragons had roared into a 12-0 lead, courtesy of tries from Mathieu Laguerre and a sensational effort from their young French superstar, Guillermo Aspero-Bichet. We will discuss that and much, much more in the company of Jamie Jones-Buchanan, Sam Tompkins and John Wilkin after this. Magic Weekend is back in Newcastle and off to a flyer. Welcome back to St James's Park in Newcastle. It is the 18th birthday of the Magic Weekend. Game 1 is up and running, and there's just 2 points between the Dragons and the Leigh Leopards. The Dragons had led 12-0 at one stage. Leigh have found a way back into the game and to within 2 of the French side. I'm delighted to say Jamie Jones-Buchanan, John Wilkin and myself joined here pitchside by the injured Catalan Dragons superstar Sam Tompkins. Your thoughts on the first 40 minutes?
I think it's what we expected. 2 pretty evenly matched sides today. I thought us as Catalans, we started really well, and it looked like everything was going our way. You know, we had lots of play the balls in good attacking position, but Leigh really stuck with it, and you know, second part of that first 40, they looked the more dominant.
Well, John, take us through those first couple of Catalan Dragons tries. The second one, something special. Mathieu Laguerre's a good effort too.
Yeah, it came off the back of a kick out on the full from McIntosh, and then an error from Tezzy New in yardage, but it's an accurate kick from Theophage, and what a target Laguerre is for that sort of stuff. He's just built to challenge in the air. It was an excellent start from the second Catalan try came off the back of a Leigh offload. Now, we've seen so many offloads from Leigh, and very few in these opening exchanges went to hand. It's a break from Siren, and what a tackle from Bailey Hodgson off the back of it. Well, talk to me about this young fullback, Sam, Aspero-Bichet.
Well, the biggest question when Guillermo came into the full-time setup was, what position's he going to play? It wasn't, is he going to play? Because he's such a natural rugby player, as you can see. There's not a great deal on. The way he can stand up defenders, stay so balanced to break tackles, have an awareness of the line. That's why he's so valuable.
You're smiling, Jamie.
Yeah, I just love that athletic ability and that evasion. We don't see too much of that. There's 2 players in another team that light up Super League most weeks, but for me it's some of these stats here, the big one being to play the balls in the opposition's 20. Sam mentioned it, the start of the game was quite dogmatic about field position, asked lots of questions to Leigh, and it was a Fuhad Yaha error when Steve McNamara was telling him to get back on side and concentrate. That swung it for me.
That's gone from 8-0, play the balls in the opposition 20, to favouring the Catalan Dragons, to 19-10. Edwin Apape, man of the moment.
Yeah, brilliant. And we see again how dominant Leigh were. I think when they just held possession and carried the ball with strength, they found offloads, they found a passing game, and it's this that was the issue for Catalan Dragon. Just missed tackles, Edwin Apape riding a couple of challenges, and he's a real threat through the middle of the field, Jonesy.
Yeah, he's really strong, isn't he? And I suspected he'd have a big influence on this game, but Leigh have looked quite frantic as well. There's other opportunities that hasn't gone quite to hand forward passes, but if they keep finding themselves this end at part, they can come to fruition.
How will Dad deal with son scoring this try?
Oh, he won't be happy. He's not counting with his son for 80 minutes today. But I think the opportunities that Leigh have got, you can see the defensive line, Catalan defensive line, is in scramble mode on both of those, and it comes from us being soft in defence, missing too many one-on-ones, not locking up ball, allowing offloads, and it turns, rather than have a solid line all defending together, we're defending ones and twos, and they're going to score.
Yeah, too often in the back end of that half, Leigh Leopard's players were falling through contact, landing on the floor. Steve McNamara mentioned pre-game about getting some levers, about keeping the Leigh players off the ground. Well, way too often in that last 20 minutes, the Leigh players dictated the speed of the game by finding ground, by playing the ball quickly, by finding offloads. Catalans started strong, but that's a really worrying 20-minute period for Steve McNamara.
Well, of course, the difference between the two sides is that Guillermo Espero-Biche penalty in between those two lead tries. Would you be the happier the sides if you were the Leigh Leopards, having played maybe such an unnecessarily frantic game in the first 40 minutes and to be just 2 behind at half-time?
Yeah, I think Adrian Lamb will be relatively happy with that. They found a way to get themselves back into the game. You know, we talk about momentum of a game, and all the momentum was with the Catalan side for that first part. So the fact they've been able to fight their way back into it and come in just 2 points behind, I imagine Adrian Lamb's pretty happy.
The first 5 minutes, JJB, of the second half will be all important. You've been trawling through the data and you've come up with a, well, almost an anomaly really here between these two sides.
It just stood out to me that Catalans seem to start halves really well. The start of the second half, they scored 32 points this season in that first 5 minutes. Leigh, by contrast, have not conceded any. In fact, they've only conceded 2 in the first 10. So I just think those two teams locking horns in the start of the second half will be key.
Yeah, Steve McNamara needs to get his side's physicality right here, because Leigh are carrying the ball with too much strength and too much power. For Leigh, they've just got to ride this momentum now.
But they do trail at half-time in game 1 of day 1 of the 2025 Betfred Super League Magic Weekend at St James's Park, Newcastle. Just 2 between the side. These teams, of course, in great form coming into this one, and with a big semi-final on the horizon next week. Second half on the way. Well, the Catalan Dragons have a narrow 2-point half-time lead over the Leigh Leopards in game 1 of day 1 of the 2025 Betfred Super League Magic Weekend as we return to St James's Park, Newcastle. And wild animals everywhere here. The Leigh Leopard in very safe hands in between JJB and John Wilkin. They're getting into the party atmosphere. We've mic'd up the coaches. Let's hear from Adrian Lamb addressing the Leigh Leopards at half-time here in the dressing rooms.
We're looking clunky at times, okay, and I get it. I know we've made a lot of changes, but there's no excuse around not completing high for us. Everything that they've got has been off the back of our incompletes. Do you understand that? So if we get our completions over 90% and we make them make more tackles than us, as simple as that is, that's the basic key to this next 40 minutes. You understand? So I just felt that we erred out of our yardage area that gave them the opportunity to have a tackle 6 kick over 3 defender. Be more effective with our defence. Be a little bit more connected. I think our left edge can tighten things up, push that extra one to the right, and the right get high on any shifts that they've got, boys, all right? Apart from that, once we've earned that right into this second half, the next 15 minutes, right, be tough there, be clinical, then the space has started coming up through the middle, like Ice, you're over the advantage line. We're missing jumps on him through A defender, through B defender, in behind that diamond. That's where that space will open up for us. You understand?
Well, exclusive access in the Leigh Leopards dressing rooms at half-time here at St James's Park. What was said in the Catalan Dragons changing rooms, we can get that now from Jenna Brooks, pitchside. Jenna.
Yeah, speaking to Steve McNamara, he said that was an erratic half from both teams. Go on through. He said that they had more missed tackles in that half than they've had all season, so that is one area that you can expect improvement from the Catalan Dragons in this second half. But over to you, Woodsy and Tez.
Thank you very much, Jenna. Looking forward to this second half. Great to get that insight from both coaches as well. Leigh obviously looking to just improve on their completions in this second half. You heard that, that was the direct thing. And just like the first half, the second half starts with a kick that is awful. Straight out of play. Espero-Biche, maybe a bit of extra adrenaline running through his body at the moment.
Same corner as well, isn't it? Just so overcooks it by some distance as well, a few metres, but when you go into the inner sanctum, isn't it good? Like the composed delivery there by Adrian Lamb. I've been in changing rooms before when the coach absolutely blasts you and you can't remember what the direction was coming out in the second half. but they certainly give the team a plan of what he wants, and they're confident as well.
The overriding thing we're learning from both coaches today is the coolness under pressure, isn't it? That calmness, that refusal to get involved in the passion of the occasion, just looking at it very technically to direct their players appropriately. And Leigh are directing towards their opponent's line right at the start of the second half. Davis will carry it in. So Catalan were given a leg up in the first half. Leigh looking to take advantage of their leg up here. There's Trout, who's trying to just thread his way through, but Sims went low. There were a couple up high and stopped on that occasion. Davis just threading it left. 4 gone, 1 to go. And they're going left again, and Lamb puts it back on the inside, and Pape skittling up as he went rolling through, but just legged up short. And now it's left, and here's Charnley. And Charnley's going to be held up so close to that Catalan line.
Well, again, just a decent job from Lachlan Lamb. Fixes the defenders, gets them interested, taps the ball back on the inside to Edwin Pape, who again just shows how good he is. And solid defence yet again.
Yeah, here we go again. Catalan with a real battle to get out of the 10, never mind anything else, because Leigh are putting in the work, keeping that line speed as intense as possible here. Sate as they go a little wider.
And this is where you do go to work as a defender. You try and get off the line, you try and get the numbers in, you try and slow it down as much as you can.
And Catalan coming to this left-hand side, the right-hand side of Leigh's defence, because that was the latest to recover. The Leigh defenders on that side late to recover. And they got a penalty here for a high shot on Sims, I think.
Yeah, a late shot. Do you know, unnecessary really. The back end of the set did everything that they needed to do. And you can just see it's like hit on suspicion from Edwin Pape, who goes in and just hits
Stay behind, boys.
Sims. And Tara Sims just not really doing anything, offering himself. And Edwin Pape will be disappointed. Not one of his best hits in this game.
Be careful.
Well, it advances Catalan in no uncertain terms here. They start with what should be an attacking set of 6 here. Sims with the initial carry. Da Costa. Time again to have a look around. Fires drops it back, and Sate comes romping through again. Still plenty of tackles in the bag. Da Costa collects and goes out a dummy half, and just for a moment the door opened, but slams shot just as quickly. It's Partington who suspiciously forward with that pass. Everett to his feet. Another set of 6 here for Catalan. Restart. Keary throws it left. They're looking with Smith, and Smith picks himself up and gets himself over the line, and is certain that he has scored.
Time off.
And he's just showing the referee the ball's on the ground,
no
but
tackle.
we want a technical completion to this.
We're looking to see that his ball carrying out doesn't touch the floor. When there's a player holding him constituting a tackle. And then look at the grounding, please, mate.
OK, we're checking, is the tackle complete at any point? That's the first aspect to the challenge, to the video call. OK, we're playing on to this point, the tackle isn't complete, so we're now looking at the grounding. Can we just get a different view on that, please? We're looking to see if the ball gets to the ground. OK, does the ball get to the ground? He's in possession, and if we just run it back on that, or if... OK, if we can go slow now. Smith's in possession of the ball. He's still in possession of the ball. And the ball is on the ground. Can we just double check that it is on or over the line, please? I just can't see where the line is on that angle. I viewed the angle I need. I've made my decision.
That sounds like it's going to be a try, doesn't it? He was a miraculous try scorer in Golden Point last week to give his side the win over Wakefield. Has he scored here to give his side a real lift at the start of the second half? Here we go. Yes, confirmed. Remy Smith with the try, and Catalan lead 18-12 with a big kick to come.
Yeah, an important try to score, really, against Leigh. Like you said, scored the winner last week against Wakefield. Played standoff last time these sides met. He's a big, powerful player over on the the left-hand side, and just look at that. He's got the ball holding in one hand, looks to try and get rid of a Leigh defender. You can just see that he thinks that he's in a better position to score this try rather than tip the ball onto Kotrick. And that's a big play and a big try with an important kick now.
Espira Bichet from more or less the touchline. 3 out of 3 so far. He's kicked really well, hasn't he? Not just in terms of return, but each kick has looked for certain a 2-pointer as soon as it's left the boot. How does this one size up? Rolls it in, starts it well. Oh, he's hit the post this time. Hits the post. Remains at 18 points to 12. But Adrian Lamb, well, he'd have been disappointed with the way this second half has started.
Just from a penalty there, Clubby. We talked about that at half-time, mate. We can't allow them to just cruise out of their half there with no pressure applied. It's just unacceptable. That was Edwin, mate. Please just get to him and just talk to him about that.
Well, the clubby he's talking about there is Tony Clubb, his assistant, is he, down on the touchline, who's got to convey that message now on to the players.
Yeah, and again, he comes back to that penalty where Edwin Apapi's hit Tarek Sims, really. And it's just clear instruction, isn't it, what he wants from the side. No ranting, no raving.
He's never out, who's wrestled to the ground. Da Costa picks up Catalan, looking to clear this. Luke Keary's been in the news for all the wrong reasons this week, and Jenner, he's in the news again, isn't he?
Yeah, I can tell you, just after that try was scored, he was in back play having his ankle strapped, so just keep an eye on that. There could be a slight issue there.
Well, he's just hobbling back into position there. We saw him. Thanks, Jenner. This is taken on by Satai. Da Costa in at dummy half. Partington puts it back to Fage, and now it goes wider still. Whitehead. Elliot Whitehead. Back at the club this season, of course, is Elliot, new signing from the Canberra Raiders, where he had an outstanding part of his career. It's Fage now who gets that kick away, under real pressure as well, and Hodgson will patch and brings it back, and Catalan's line readies itself to tackle from here.
He returns the ball well, doesn't he? Barely Hodgson. He's got some speed, some power. And Leigh now just looking to just try and work Catalan over centre field.
Bad rock to his feet. Dwyer puts it back to the middle. McIntosh tottering forward towards that Catalan defence again. Ipape back to Lamb. Trout comes on at pace, playing wider than we're normally used to seeing him in this game because of the inception of Hengawi. That's good work done, and Hodgson collects and tries to thread himself through and almost loses the ball, but recollects. 1 to go. Dwyer at a dummy half. It's with Lachlan Lamb now. Lamb's chip towards this side. It's O'Neill. It's a catch, and it is a try. There was an effort. Up he went. Down he came.
Just looking to see that he does regain possession.
With a timely moment to try.
To the ground, please, Chris.
But the ref's offering it up again here. See what a video referee has to make of this.
OK, the tries come from a kick, so we're going to check onside, offside initially, please. Positive on the foot. Everyone is onside, so we can run it through to the catch, please. OK, so who touches the ball? It's initially taken by O'Neill, who then juggles the ball. OK, can we just take another look on this, please? He takes position, and then the ball clearly comes away, so he must then catch hold or re-grip. He then re-grips the ball, catches the ball, and grounds it. I'm happy I viewed the angle I need and made my decision.
Well, 2 angles, we saw that, both painting the same picture. And Leigh and their fans in good voice now, because battle recommenced in this second half as a result of Ethan O'Neill's try. There we have confirmation. 2 points between them again.
Well, outstanding kick, wasn't it? Lachlan Lamb came into this game with 12 try assists. and he can just keep chalking them off, because this is a real measured kick. You have a look, he just looks over what's unfolding in front of him, trying to isolate the winger, Kotrick. You can see that there's 3 lead players just running forward. Nice, measured kick to O'Neill. And what about the take under some pressure?
Well, there is an award from the sponsors, Betfred, for the best celebrations this week.
That can't be one.
That's not one of them. That's not one of them. He might get a booby prize, though, to be fair. They're donating money to MND throughout Magic Weekend for the best celebrations. We've not seen too many so far, but that was pretty awful. Acknowledgement from Ethan O'Neill, who's been anything but awful, by the way, so far this season. Again, another new signing for the Leigh Leopards, and he's been pretty good this year, hasn't he? And now all eyes on Ben McNamara, because he puts this over. We're all level, and he has put it over, no problems. 18 points apiece, and Adrian Lamb's a happier coach, you'd imagine now.
Cobby, it's really important you get to Ethan here and just give him some confidence, mate. Just tell him about him and Lockie together. That's what we repped, right? What we did during the week, we executed on game day. So give them both a rap, and it's as simple as that, right? But just here, give a rap to Bailey Hodgson as well in front of everyone, because he carried that first carry from fullback 30 metres, okay? So he set up that set of 6. Well done.
Well, interesting psychology there by the coach, lifting. He wants those players' confidence lifted by being congratulated in front of their teammates at how well they've done there.
Well, it's great when things come off, isn't it? No, they work on it in a week, like he was saying, and credit Bailey Hodgson at the back for his work to get him on the front foot. And I'd say a great kick from Lachlan Lamb to O'Neill.
Well, Lamb's going out to Hodgson again here, and Hodgson with those words still ringing in his ears, just taking it on a yard or two. Lamb out of dummy half, shuffled forward by Davis, running into 3 Catalan defenders. Leigh was trying to extract himself there, and Dwyer bounces in and bounces out again like a little rubber ball in the middle of the field.
Move, Luke! Or we get hold.
One play to go. 6th. Here comes Lamb behind the 40, sticking it high in the air, taken by Yaha, brings it back to those chasing defenders, and we've got news on Ben Garcia. Jenna.
Yeah, not just news, potentially some massive news just a week out from that semi-final in the Challenge Cup next week. Catalans captain Ben Garcia at halftime has showered. He will not return for this game. I'm told it is a leg injury, so this no doubt will put extra pressure on Ollie Partington. He will now likely have to play that full 80 minutes.
Well, that is a massive blow for the Catalans, but personally for Garcia as well, who's been such a magnificent servant of this club down the years. A Challenge Cup final winner once, of course, but maybe not part of their Challenge Cup semi-final outing next week. But they've got to put that to the back of their minds just for the moment, because Catalan's still in possession. Whitehead puts it out. Keary gets the kick away, despite the pressure from Lamb. Up it goes, down it comes, into the hands of Hodgson. Chase from Catalan is decent. The line is up there to meet and greet the fullback, and Leigh start from here.
Yeah, well, Leigh certainly now will get some confidence, because missing Ben Garcia, it's such a big loss. Not just what he says, his actions as well on the field. And Leigh, well and truly look like they found the rhythm in this game. Plenty of confidence running through the veins now.
16, 17-year history the Catalans have got in Super League. Ben Garcia is only their 8th captain in all that time, so it tells you about his influence on this club down the years. But they're without him now. Lamb back to that middle again, and Joe Ofahengawi will take it in. Here's Lamb with a kick over the top, and it's Catalan who come up with it. Just a festival of rugby league, of course, over this next couple of days. 2 more games after this, 3 more tomorrow, and next up, Hull Kingston Rovers against Salford. Brian Briley there, and his coach Paul Rowley just having a few words ahead of that game. The league leaders against the team who are in all kinds of strife at the moment, and this is Leigh, who are putting the muscle on Catalan, forcing them back behind their own line. More are joining in, and they have done what they set out to do, and they Hodgson celebrate like they've just scored a try.
That's it. This is just brilliant defence. Now look at that. 3 men in attendance. Then McNamara lends his way. And the way that they celebrate, they enjoy defending. And just look at this line speed. You get over that advantage line. They're trying to play outside here. The first contact is really good. When you come in and McIntosh doesn't take the man to ground, and they just manage to get him over that try line. Hit your stick. And again, more messages coming down from Adrian Lamb saying he really likes that.
Absolutely. Well, he should like that, because now Leigh have got 6 tackles, although the dropout is enormous. The bounce takes it further. And Ofahengawe turns round and brings it back. Well, welcome to Super League, Joe.
Oh, that was a bone cruncher, that. Ofahengawe then ran into that line with some speed.
Adrian Lamb was anticipating a short dropout there, and they were sending that message down, but it went long. And Leigh don't mind that, because here they find themselves again. Dwyer, Lamb looking to that left-hand side. Oh, Dwyer's gone right down the middle. Desperate attempt from Fage just to drag him down. Davis picks up. Lamb takes it on again now. Back towards the centre of play. It's with Louis Brogan, who's held up 5 away. 1 play to go. Dwyer spins it out. McNamara helps it on. Lamb now going right. Hodgson's involved. So is Badrock. Badrock keeps it alive. Back inside from McIntosh. It's a little kick through from Hodgson. There's no real chase there. And Aspiro Bichet picks up and is caught high. And it's a relieving penalty for the Catalan Dragons.
Yeah, the high shot then. It was a good little kick, wasn't it, from Bailey Hodgson? He gets the ball through. You can see he's so close to the line. And it's just a bit of a grab from Lachlan Lamb. And see he's trying to just get around, and nothing in that for me.
Well, grabbed him high, and the tap is taken because that Leigh defence was a long way back expecting the kick, and gained some ground here. But Nick, it always... I'm always troubled by a tap like that, because if they kick to touch, well, and especially when that happens, Partington drops it. Leigh offered position straight back again.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's just lack of concentration. And said before, Ollie Parton, great player. There he is again, the shake of the head. He knows that it's just a simple mistake. He's turning up, trying to do the hard work, but unfortunately drops it.
Ofahengawe carries it in. Dwyer at dummy half. 4 to the right, the rest of them are to his left, but it's to the short side he brings it. McNamara offering it inside for McIntosh to have a go, and offside against the Catalan defence. Well, it's eminently kickable, but equally they're on the brink of something even better.
You know, I'd go for 2 points in close games, in big games. You're up in 3rd place. You want to keep getting those valuable league points. You take the 2 here. Well, they get this as well. They go in front for the first time, so it's a big call for them. As I said, 2-point advantage. And Adrian Lamb,
two fingers up there.
Yeah.
To give them the lead here. It's been a turnaround in fortunes of this young fella from the kicking tee this last week or so, because he started off as elected kicker against Salford last week, missed the first 2. Real poor form. He was replaced by McIntosh, and then O'Brien was eventually drawn in, and his dad's looking down here. Is he hoping he misses this? Of course he's hoping he's missing this, but Steve McNamara, a goal kicker of some repute as well back in the day.
He was quality, wasn't he?
Goal kicking forward.
Goal kicking loose forward. I remember him. My age, grew up playing against him. Back in the day, he obviously looks a lot older than I do.
I was going to say, your age group, Terry, are you sure?
Is that for him or me?
Surely he was a very, very young man when you were a very, very old man. Anyway, Ben McNamara with a big kick here. This to give his side the lead again. He's kicked 3 out of 3. Stadium just quietens a little as McNamara sticks it over. So what comes next from Leigh's point of view? This is what Adrian Lamb's had to say.
This next set, Cobby, listen, this next set's so important for us, right? But I don't want to just one it up, mate. Let's move the ball, finish in the corner, right? In 2 sets time, I want to receive the ball inside of our 60 to their try line. Got it? So it's not this set, it's our D set, how we receive the next one. And then just remember about the reps and what the threats are, our opportunities, all right, to their spine.
Loving the inside, absolutely loving the inside. So basically they're looking for a set here that finishes in the corner, kick to the corner. And it's the next set they're in possession that he's really keen on.
Yeah, look, and there you go. They just, what he said, then they're doing it. They're moving the ball. It's just not about 5 carries and just get to the kick. What they want to do is really test this Catalan side around, finish off well, and on the back of that, be strong in defence.
And it's amazing how quickly that information gets on the field, isn't it? And Leigh are acting on it, and this is Dwyer now, who's dashing out. A little bit of a dart from him, but upended as he went. So that is 4 gone. Offengawe offers it off to McNamara, who plays it back on the inside, and here's O'Neill.
5.
So very important kick to come here. Lachlan Lamb's put his name on this. It's a bit of a breeze blowing around the stadium as well, which makes the kick a little difficult. Well, it's not gone to the corner, but Leigh's defensive line is getting up there quickly. Hard with the carry.
Well, everything the coach wanted, they implemented that in that set of 6. Now they've got to do the other part of it now, which is defence.
There's Kottridge. Been impressed with him as well, Nick Kottridge, since his arrival this season.
Yeah, he's big and powerful, isn't he?
Certainly in the early days, when Catalan was struggling in the early part of the season. And he has knocked on at the play the ball.
Luke Curry.
Well, there you go. Moving around, or they're going to be a captain's challenge here.
Captain's challenge, captain's challenge.
Chris, we have a captain's challenge. Catalans are challenging the on-field decision of a knock-on.
So let's hear from the video referee.
Okay, we have a captain's challenge. Catalan are challenging the decision of a knock-on. You can see there the player loses the ball prior to bringing the ball back into play. Challenge is unsuccessful.
Well, he's backing up the referee on the field, so the original decision stands. Leigh will get it back. Catalan lose that little C underneath their name because that is their challenge over and done with. But I thought there was a case to be made there.
Well, again, do you know when you see that, you get to it, puts the ball down, place it down correctly, then there's a bit of sticky stuff on his hand where it just bounces up. It just follows his hand, and we've seen that a number of times this year at half-time and before the game. You spray the spray on and then you get hold of the ball and it's difficult to get it off your hands.
Boys, don't go early.
So Leigh with an attacking opportunity now, even better than their coach was asking for a short while ago in terms of position on the field. Hodgson driven to ground. Lachlan Lamb goes dashing over there, replaces Tessie New at dummy half, taking over those duties. This is Trout. Dwyer now, anything could happen here. It just springs it inside to Lamb, and back now for Offengawe to drive it closer. Ipape at a dummy half. It's with Davis, who's trying to smuggle it past those 3 defenders. Ipape looking back, McNamara, the defensive line comes out. They've got numbers here of Leigh, but Badrock can't get it away. Can't get it away. McIntosh consoles him. Leigh lose their chance.
Well, that's some good, strong defence, isn't it? I think it's Smith here who just forces that error. Like you said, Badrock, he's just trying to create space on the edge for his wing. The Lachlan Lamb just going really deep into the line. Nice inside pressure from Smith, and Badrock just can't quite get that ball away and make the mistake. But again, this is where you want to defend. Adrian Lamb talked about it before.
Mate,
great start to the Magic weekend. An hour played in this first game, and it's anybody's match. Leigh could be going third. Catalan battle back, could be jumping up into the top 4. It's important, the 10th round of the season. They've both got big Challenge Cup semi-finals next week as well. Oh, that's back in Leigh's hands. Here comes Davis.
And you know he's going to try and offload the ball, so that lead player, I think it was Edwin Ipape, gets behind him, expecting that offload.
Well, another mistake from Catalan. Another chance here for Leigh to strike. Brogan. Down he goes. Ipape spinning it out. Offengawe on his debut today. Would love a try or even an assist. But neither of those things on that occasion. Ipape again. Brogan's the dummy runner. Back it goes to Lamb. Offers it back to Trout, who just slides through a couple of defenders. There was a horrible miss by Elliott Whitehead in defence. And he has a try. And what a moment that is for Louis Brogan. His first ever try. His first ever lead try. Well, it's Owen Trout who's gone in the end. I do apologise. Owen Trout, the scorer. But that is still a moment of marvellous celebration.
Yeah, on his 43rd consecutive appearance, Owen Trout playing on the edge instead of up front. And you just see the change of direction coming back against the grain. And he just, as soon as he gets hold of that ball, he's missed, like you said, from Elliott Whitehead. Normally a strong defender, Elliott Whitehead, but you just look at the way that he runs onto this ball. He's not going to be beaten, is he, Owen Trout? It's good play. It's good play for him, and it's good play for the left.
Well, I think that deserves a celebration nod from the sponsors, because it was Trout diving like a salmon at the end of that, and a little bit of a jig as well.
Well, you might get it for that, for pointing that out, but look, I think Owen Trout is a fabulous player. Come back on the angle onto that ball, and look, he's a big, powerful man. Showed some speed, determined to get over that line. And what a second half Leigh have come up with.
Well, they are making a case to be taken real serious in that chase for the grand final at the end of the year.
Well, you looked at them beginning of the game. They were 12-0 down. There's no panic from them. With all the players that's missing, we're not making any excuses here for them, because the players that are out there currently are performing.
McNamara looking to add another.
Time back on.
And again, extends that lead to just a painful distance now away from Catalan. 26 points to 18. Next game coming up, of course, straight after this one, we have got Hull Kingston Rovers against Salford. Willie Peters and Mikey Lewis, Hull Kingston Rovers players, arriving there as well for that one at this big stadium. And Salford, who've been under so much hammer this year, maybe they can produce something special today. They'll need something special today, but that's coming up next. Hull Kingston Rovers against Salford. And don't forget, St Helens against Leeds is the final game on day one of this magic weekend. Here comes O'Neill.
A big 17 minutes for them here now. They get the result here that they're after. Finish the game in second place, so it means so much for them.
Release him!
There's Brogan. Louis Brogan. Ipape at dummy half again, looking to unleash them forward off of Hungawe. Just finding his feet in this, his first game, of course. Ipape right, McNamara gets the kick up and away. Espuro Biche underneath it, under a little bit of pressure. He would sense McIntosh was close, but he's done well.
It's a good set after scoring some points when you can kick the ball and land it just 10 metres from your opponent's line. And again, just Adrian Lamb's men looking to do a number here defensively, try and get the line speed well, and work with the referee and don't give a cheap penalty away.
Partridge not going too far forward. Here's Smith. Has the heart just been kicked out of Catalan, or can they find a way to muster a response here? Pangai Jr. with that carry.
Nolan Trout just clamping the ball, knowing that he's got that offload in his game.
Well, that's a good offload from Busquets. 1 to go. Da Costa. Fage inside the 40, but it's more or less down the middle that it's sent. Charlie catches, diffuses that quickly, and look at that quickly into his stride as well, to make as many meters as possible. Don't forget, you at home engaged in this as well, because you at home get the chance to pick the player of the match. The beginning of the 4 options coming up very soon, next 10 minutes or so. But download the Our League app to get involved in that, to get your vote in. There's off Hungawe. And that's a good offload. And Ipape's waiting and gathers in another 15, 20 metres off the back.
You're right, that's a great offload. And again, look at this for a quick play of the ball. Straight over that advantage line already.
Oh, and Lamb again just offering it away, and Mulhern almost making the break. Ipape goes out, it's short. McNamara's cut down. Ipape, Lamb just to the left, spun back. Here is Lamb with a kick, bounces off. It's Catalan legs, and that'll be offside, I think, against Fage.
Knock on.
Oh, it's a knock on.
Hand over.
It was a case for offside. But...
knock on by you guys. You want a challenge? No. Okay.
Oh, it pegs off knock on against Leigh, that's why. No challenge.
Yeah, no, they asked the question, didn't he, the referee, Liam Moore? Did you want a challenge? The answer was no.
One.
It's quite aggressive, that, isn't it? Do you want to make something of it? It's knock on. You want to make something of it? No, sir. Here's a carry by Pangai Jr.
It's a big 14 minutes here now.
Yeah. And Catalans strike next, and it's game on again.
Yeah, it's massive.
Quite obvious. Kiri gets it away. And here is a little step from Kotric, close to the line. And Leigh defenders are trying to take him closer, but he's held it up strong, kept it in the field of play.
I really like the communication with Leigh, then just working together. Again, you just look how tight they are. When the ball's moved away, they're trying to push off.
4.
There's Busquets. Couple of plays to go to Costa, bringing it out. Partington, Fage. They've got a few numbers here. Spiro Boucher, he of the liquid hips, from his try-scoring exploits in the first half. Fage with a little chip over the top, and Kiri's chasing after this. And look, Kiri's over to score. Communication was spot on, but was he onside?
Chris, tackle 5. We have a try. We're looking at onside, offside, please, mate.
So let's hear from the video referee here. Are Catalan back in the game?
Okay, we're checking onside, offside. We can pause the ball on the foot. Okay, everyone has both feet behind the ball, which is what they are required to do. If we can run it through to the challenge, please. He's onside. Takes possession cleanly. We can go straight to the grounding, please. And the ball's grounded. I'm happy I've viewed the angles I need. I've made my decision.
Well, he didn't have the best start to his Super League career, did he, Luke Keary, in the early rounds, but he's just beginning to find his feet a little, and he's found his second try of the season here, and that is massive from the Dragons' point of view.
Yeah, it is, but this is his first try that he scored in Super League, and what a way to score it there. We were just talking about how they needed to be next on the scoreboard, and Luke Keary comes over it. Normally the man that creates the try, and he knew exactly what was coming in. Clever, nice position kick from Theo Fage, and as soon as he gets that ball, steps off his left foot, and you can see what it means to him, Keary, because he knows now, with 13 minutes to go, it's game on. And what a time to score your first in Super League at Magic Weekend in game 1. But credit Theo Fage. What a nice place kick.
Spiro Boucher settling himself to bring the scores back to within 2. 26-24, game on. Sam Tompkins, a penny for your thoughts at this stage.
I think it was real crucial that we scored really quickly. I think it was almost against the run of play. Leigh have been really dominant this second half. Not a great 30 minutes for us after half time, but I think the fact we've got down there, hopefully that gives us a bit of confidence going into the last 10 minutes, only 2 points behind.
Well, it is set up beautifully here, Terry. Absolutely beautifully.
Incredible. And you look at the performance last week, they went to Golden Point against Wakefield, didn't they?
Leigh have been in a few tight games as well this year. Nothing tighter than that match, as we mentioned earlier, against Hull.
One of the best Magic games that I can remember was Catalan against Saints in 2021. 5 minutes to go.
There are St Helens fans throwing things at the television now, Terry.
It was 30 points to 12. I remember when they scored the first of the 3 tries that they scored. I remember Barry McDermott saying in commentary, well, they've left it too little too late for the comeback.
What does he know?
And then all of a sudden, well, extra time, James Maloney nails a 45-metre drop goal.
Well, we've got to hold up here because, as you can see, there's a bit of a technical issue. There's our man Cliffy, just sorting out the technical issues. Touch judges and referee can't hear each other, so we're just holding things up before we get this game back underway. It adds to the drama, adds adds to the tension.
It doesn't help the nerves of the players, though.
2 points in it, 12 minutes to play. Two coaches who know just how important this match is in the context of their season. Confidence going into a semi-final next week is one thing. 2 big points on the competition ladder is another. Could be huge in the final reckoning when it comes to the shake-up in the top 6. But who takes the advantage from this? Da Costa's in at dummy half, and Catalan are looking to bring it back downfield. Pangai Jr. with the carry.
Well, you heard the message before from Adrian Lamb about what they have to do after scoring. Some points, just look, just don't panic, move them about a bit, get to your kick, work off the back of some strong defence, and Catalan have to do exactly the same here.
Busquets takes it in, Da Costa's in at dummy half, climbing over the body of O'Neill to get that at, and another carry as well by 5 or 10 metres or so.
Release him now for
Kiri stands and waits, shoving it back towards the middle of the park. Partington helps it on to Fage. Fage now with a couple of dummies, bringing in Leigh. Challenges that Leigh defence, but they're up to it. And they're still short of the halfway line. How good's the kick? Fage will carry. Those on the inside retaining that onside position. Hodgson picks it up and brings it back out again. No mistakes here from either side. Will be the call from the sidelines.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you want. You want your defenders not to make those errors, those defensive reads where they get it totally wrong because they're spooked by the numbers that the attack have.
Here's Mbappe. This now is McIntosh, spring-heeled. Just a big hand in the face of defenders coming his way. Mbappe goes left. Charnley now, bringing it back towards the middle. 4 tackles gone, halfway line reached. Little dummy shown by Leigh, going no further. So this is going to be a kick off the boot of McNamara, but in fact he's going to carry it with a run, and they're exploring things on this near side. O'Neill tries to put a little grubber kick in. Kiri drops on it, and Catalan have possession back again. Now here's your moment at home. If you've got your Our League app downloaded, who is your player of the match? Edwin Mbappe, Lachlan Lamb from Leigh, Espero Bichet and Theo Fage, the Catalan contenders. So it's down to your vote for the player of the match, and as we say, via the Our League app. Same in all 6 matches today, so all 3 matches today, all 3 matches tomorrow. Oh, that's untidy. There's a touch on the floor.
Incorrect, you play the ball into the man. Incorrect, play the ball.
Well, he's played the ball into Robbie Mulhern, is the decision.
Turn it over.
They don't have a challenge left.
Okay, let me explain to you, Luke. I've already spoken to Junior about messing around at the play of the ball, and he deliberately, forcefully plays that ball into the man.
Deliberately plays it into it, trying to get a penalty for offside.
Do you know, it is the correct call. You just look at the way that he strikes that ball. He knew exactly what he was trying to do, what he was trying to achieve by getting the penalty. You can't play the ball and backheel it back this quick. Just look at that.
Well, it has cost them position, and it has cost them possession. But is it going to cost them on the scoreboard? Because Leigh, just again with that arrowhead of attack, bringing it forward. Mulhern, Mbappe, McNamara in the middle, takes it to Lamb. Lamb pops it over the top, New with a quick pass away, and Charlie heading for the corner, brings it back to the middle, and he's just stopped. Despairing effort from Leigh in the end to roll onto him, but Leigh, having gone left, will bring it right. Mbappe spins and down. Mofahangawe finds himself in the uncomfortable position of dummy half here. Inside for Mulhern. Lamb gathered in by Fage, who read and got there quickly. Collected and left again now. Hodgson with a step. And on tackle 5, Leigh are stopped with a goal line in sight.
Yeah, well, chose to run the ball then over on the left-hand side and trying to play the ball now and catch Leigh out, but great attack from Leigh, and a mistake from Pangai Jr. Find themselves now trapped near the line with Chris Sate onto the field to have his big size.
St James's Park is filling up nicely now. Leigh fans and Catalan fans, supplemented by all the other supporters who are here this weekend, beginning to drift in. Maybe the word's gone out that this is such a close and tense game. Satay stopped too short of the halfway line. Inside for Fage. Left out it goes. Pangai Jr. throws it out. Whitehead gets it further right, and here comes Whitehead on the follow-up. 1 play to go. Well, that was clearly. I mean, there has been some allowance for players.
No, it does, mate. 10 and 10. No, you've no challenges left.
When they play the ball out of a tackle, but there's no way. I mean, that was a blatant. The referee shouted held, and Whitehead decided, there we go. Oh, his right arm is up, but the referee had shouted held.
Yeah, well, he called held, and Elliot Whitehead, the left arm had hit the ground, throws the ball away, and gives a penalty. Again, just, you can see him, he's frustrated, seeing the ball carrying hand hadn't touched the ground.
Well, need to clear the ears out, Elliot. Let's hear from Adrian Lamb. He's side on attack here.
Back up, boys, please, back up. Oh, brilliant.
Well, I'm not sure we can hear him there. Apologies for that. But anyway, Leigh on the cusp again. Next try potentially wins the game.
It was just shouting penalty. That's what Adrian Lamb was saying.
Right. Off the ground, sir, he was shouting. Here's a step from Badrock. Badrock put down. Noise raising. Volume lifting. McNamara. Back it goes for Mulhern. Mulhern just ploughs his way forward. Ipape. Into dummy half. Scooping it left. Liu onto Lamb. Lamb now wide. This is new. Here's Charlie. Charlie for the corner. With a potential match winner, but it's ruled out for a forward pass. He gets up and grins ruefully. Catalan fight another day.
Well, the ball there from Tessinu, you can see that it goes forward to Charlie. He thought he was in. The try-scoring machine out over on the left-hand side. And Tessinu thought that was certainly going to be the match clincher. And Josh Charlie now know that he's still got 5 more minutes to go before they can get the result that they're after.
Well, the hearts beat a little stronger. Adrian Lamb's reaction to that last moment.
No way! No way!
I'm afraid to say way, Adrian. It was a forward pass. So Catalan bring it clear. Their hearts would have been in their boots just a moment ago, but now they know there's still a chance. Keary put down, Da Costa picks up, back towards the middle of the park. Partington helps it on. It's slung out by Satay. Now it's Whitehead. Whitehead battling hard, still battling hard. Drops the ball backwards. It is an offload that's gone wrong and has gifted Leigh possession back again.
Well, again, just a simple turnover there from Elliot Whitehead. The most experienced players make mistakes. You can see he get his arm free, the clock's against him. He's looking for someone to come with him. Unfortunately, the ball goes on the ground and he just loses it.
Loose carry, lost possession. Is that lost hope? McIntosh drives it in. 2 points the difference. No value in a drop goal here for Leigh. They want to go the distance if they can. McNamara does well. Hodgson looking to step inside an unbalanced defence, but the equilibrium had been restored and he goes down. Badrock and now O'Neill. O'Neill with a squeeze. It's Ipape. Back again, Isaac Liu, along to Lamb. Lamb now goes for the big bustling effort of Tessinu on that left-hand side, and that will be the end of it. Far from disastrous as far as Leigh's concerned, because Catalan have got another 95 metres to cover.
Yeah, look, and that's the mindset of Leigh. Winning by 2 points on the last play, they run it instead of going for their sideline and just wasting a bit of time. That just shows that they still think there's some points left in them in this last 3 minutes.
Less than 3 to go. Catalan get ball in hand, maybe twice more after this. But at the moment, they're in a parlous position. Desperate position. Inside, Keary. Smith now with a carry. Can't go far because Badrock's got his number. Here comes Cottridge. Looking athletically back on the inside. Tries to shrug away Mulhern, but Mulhern had done enough damage to make sure that Teammates could come in and finish off the work. Da Costa left, Kiri further left. Leigh responding in a robust fashion because Catalan now have reached the last play and will have to kick here. Presumably, Kiri, it's with Fage. Well, in fact, they're going through hand because they need the points. And Whitehead, little dummy, buys a bit of time. Desperate, flap in the air by Leigh. Referee says play on, still the 6. Off his toes by Fage. Basketball stuff at the moment, but Ipape puts an end to that nonsense. Jumping on the shoulders, ending the sequence and giving Leigh possession back again.
Well, hungry defence from Leigh, panicking Steve McNamara, pressuring Steve McNamara's men. You could just see him just desperate to keep the ball alive, but the numbers kept on turning up in the Leopards jersey. Edwin Ipape comes out the line, comes up with a tackle along with Charnley and Adrian Lamb. He appreciates the hard work, the effort that his players have put in.
6 slow plays from Leigh you'd expect here to take that clock down. Ofa Hengawi driving in, holding the ball close to his chest, having a look around, asking the referee, using the clock to his advantage.
Well, this is it. You'd be as slow as you like, and then you would work towards the sideline and kick the ball off the field and waste that time.
Mulhern just suggesting he's got a bit of an injury. You'd suspect he hasn't. Liu goes left, brought back by Trout. Trout putting on a few steps, keeping that ball up, keeping it alive, wasting a few more seconds. 34 seconds and counting. And there's still tackles in the bag. Ofa Hengawi smashing it forward.
5.
This will be the last play. Can Leigh find...
Time's off.
Oh, the referee stopped the clock because Ofa Hengawi's milking it.
Yeah. Time's off.
Clearly milking it. Clock is stopped with 20 to go.
Mate, I've stopped the game.
Or he might have a genuine issue with his ribs the size of Chris Satter.
You make a sub. What do you want to do?
No, I'm good.
No, you're coming off.
Imagine 40. Imagine 80
No,
kilos.
mate, I've stopped the game. What, no, it's a green card.
Let's have a word with him here.
It's a green card, okay?
Fellas, there's 20 seconds to go in this desperate game. He's green carded. Well, clearly, I mean, that was always going to be the outcome there. Green carded because he stopped the game. The physio's on. He's clearly not injured.
Well, he just said to the ref, imagine all them kilos just jamming you.
Okay, can make a change then.
In the ribs.
Yeah, it's all right. If he wants to make a change, they can do.
Well, they make a change, and Nathan Wild's come galloping onto the field. First time we've seen him today, isn't it, young Nathan Wild? But there's only 20 seconds to go. So Ofa Hengawi is now off for the rest of the game. McNamara just belts it out of play, takes one bounce, out it goes. Is there time for Catalan to get the ball back here and get things moving again? Countdown on the clock. This is going to be miraculous here if Catalan can win it. This is the last play. Kiri puts a kick over the top. It's caught by Ipape, who'll defuse that, and a big win for Adrian Lamb's Leigh Leopards. Magic weekend. It ends with a tussle. A little bit of fury ignites. A little bit of venom right at the end. But the final outcome is a big win for Leigh. That will take them up to second in the table. It's a 5th consecutive win for them. They've done it the hard way, coming from 12-0 down at one stage. And this is where it all began. Pangai Jr. jumping in there, possibly unnecessarily. And a little bit of a ruckus as a result. So Liam Moore has still got a little bit of work to do before he's off for his well-earned cup of tea. Well, you could argue there was no tackle there, so Pangai Jr. had every right to drop on that.
Yeah, well, it's just the result. It's a massive performance and a good comeback for Leigh to get the result, and a bit of frustration at the end that Catalan couldn't get the job done.
Yeah, referee's blown his whistle. He don't want any more to do with that. He's quite happy the way things have calmed down in the end. But what a big win that is for Leigh.
That's huge, absolutely huge. And what a game to kick off. Magic weekend in 2025. Adrian Lamb's men get the result and a big performance.
1 down, 5 to go. Leigh have won the opener. by 26 points to 24.
Dave.